What is going on, everybody? It is Big L here, bringing you our Week 9 battle against Coach Zicofool and her Ballonlea Brionnes. We are currently at 6-2, and I believe if we get a win this week, we are clinched for playoffs. I could 100% be wrong, but looking at how the conference is shaping up, I believe we are clinched. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, absolutely, but um, if we could clinch early, that'd be fantastic. Clinching with 3 weeks left means that in the two games that we have remaining, that would be potential playoff matches. Also, I can kind of hide some sets that I think might work really, really well, which is really, really good against, especially against players as good as Midi and Artis are. So being able to keep some sets hidden from them would be really, really nice. Um, but we're going to focus on this game. We can't get ahead of ourselves. Zicofool is a good player, and she's got a really scary team. I'm not going to go into her entire team, but what she brought this week is Klefki, Fortress, Brionne, Umbreon, Weavile, and Latios. We're bringing Silvally Fire, Noivern, Mega Diancie, Araquanid, Mamoswine, and Pangoro. Whenever I looked at the lead matchup, I know she likes to lead Brionne. She plays it really, really well. It's really, really bulky with Eviolite, and I know it can basically live any hit. So I thought, I am Water Absorb on Araquanid this week, so she won't be able to use it as a bulky pivot against me with Flip Turn because, we'll just absorb the Flip Turn and she won't be able to go anywhere. So it can give me some pretty free rock webs, not rocks. And I can maybe Toxic it if it tries to stay in, or we'll see what it tries to do. She does have the 2 steel types, so clicking Toxic isn't something I'm just going to be able to do for free. But let's get into it here, and we get the lead matchup we want, as she does lead the Brionne and we lead the Araquanid. So I'm free here to just go ahead and go for webs. I predict her to go for the Flip Turn, but she goes for a Toxic, which is a good play on her part. It's pretty free, and this thing's pretty bulky. So here, I'm going to go ahead and go for a Toxic. If she just hard switches, predicting me to be Water Absorbed, then that's fine. But she does go for the Flip Turn, and we're able to get a Toxic off on this thing, which is really nice. Can really wear this thing down. It doesn't get any recovery. So being able to get a Toxic off on it is really nice. And here I'm going to go ahead and just go for a Liquidation. I don't see any drawback to it. She could go like Latios, but I don't think she'd want to risk her Leech Life. And she goes in the Fortress, which is fair. It's probably her hazard removal, and we go for the Liquidation, and we see that it's Rocky Helmet, which is really, really nice to know. We get the defense drop, which doesn't matter at all. Here, this is a really, really free switch into Silvally. This thing can't do anything to Silvally, and Silvally kind of goes through her team, with the exception of Brionne. But we're already getting a little bit of damage on it, and it can't just stay in forever on us. So she goes for the Rapid Spin to get rid of the webs, which is fair. I just see multi-attack as a no drawback play. And you go for that on the Brionne. It does very, very little, which is expected. And here, I'm going to go ahead and go right back out into Araquanid, as she makes a nice double here into Fortress. Kind of wish we had gone for multi-attack there or Flame Charge. Any of our setup moves would be really, really nice there. But, it's early game. We can't risk making a play like that. Here, I guess I'm going to go out into Pangoro. If she wants to go for rocks, if she wants to go for spikes, or even if a gyro ball or something like that, she's more than welcome to. This thing can take anything. As she goes for stealth rocks, and I'm going to go ahead and go for a knockoff here, and she goes into the Brionne, which kind of confused me, and that did a lot more than I thought it was going to do. I didn't think it was going to do nearly that much. I also kind of always assume Brionne is a fairy type because of Primarina, but it doesn't resist it. And so I know that with that damage, with the Eviolite gone, she can't live another one. So we just go ahead and claim the KO with Pangoro, and we can get rid of that really, really annoying Brionne, which is really, really nice. And Pangoro, doing Pangoro things that it does for us, just claiming KOs. Pangoro's having such a nice season for it. I believe it's our second highest killer after Silvally, which is crazy. I never thought that whenever I took it. So she was out in the keys here, which I cannot stay in on. I go out into Mamoswine. This was meant to be Expert Belt, but I was flirting with the idea of Boots and Life Orb, and at some point I must have changed it to Heavy Duty Boots, which is fine. It means I didn't take the extra damage from rocks, and but it just means that I'm not going to be doing as much damage to this. As she goes for the Iron Defense, which kind of scared me. I didn't know if she'd want to stay in here because even at +2, Earthquake was still doing quite a bit to her. And I didn't know if she wondered if I was banded or what. But she decides to just go ahead and go for another iron defense as I go for the knockoff. And at this point, I'm like, okay, what can my special attackers do to this? I don't want to have to go into Diancie because I do have Earth Power on Diancie this week, 4 keys, but I don't want her to be Magnet Rise, because then if she's Magnet Rise, I can't touch it. So I'm looking at her team. What does Mammoth Swine really do? It doesn't really do a whole lot for me. I don't have Ice Shard, so I can't get like extra chip on something like Latios or the Weavile if it has low kick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get damage off on this thing. She can keep setting up, but I'm gonna take damage, and she goes for the Flash Cannon. That does huge damage. It does about 68%, which tells me that she's not super offensive. She has some investment, I believe, but she's not crazy offensive, if I remember the calcs right. But this is where having the Expert Belt would have been really, really nice. If I was Expert Belt, I would have had a chance to kill her with 2 Earthquakes. Instead, I will need a crit here, and we don't get it, but we do get enough damage off. So Diancie can come in and revenge kill with Moonblast. I don't have to risk her being Magnet Rise. But I'm pretty sure that if she would have clicked it against the Mammoth Swine. So we go ahead and Mega Evolve, and we can KO this thing with Moonblast. And now we don't have to worry about T-Wave. These are the 2 Pokemon that I was really, really worried about stopping a Silvally sweep potentially. I didn't. Brionne, obviously I can't really do much to it, and this thing being able to get a T-Wave off on my Silvally would have been really, really bad for it. So these are the 2 mons I was really, really scared of stopping a Silvally sweep, and they're both gone, which is huge. And she made the switch into Weavile really, really quick, which screamed Steel move to me. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and go out into Araquanid. I'm going to see if she is banded, if she's Life Orb, what she is. And she does reveal the Iron Tail. So we figured she had a Steel move. And with that damage, we see it's not banded. And we obviously see that she doesn't have Life Orb. So right now, I'm assuming that this thing is probably Heavy Duty Boots, because I do like to get webs up. So she probably has Heavy Duty Boots in case, she wasn't able to deny webs. So she goes for the knockoff and KOs the Araquanid, which is fine. Araquanid, I didn't really see what it could get webs up on. Maybe the Umbreon, but I didn't really see what Araquanid could do for me the rest of the way. I go right out into the Pangoro. If she has low kick, I live it and I KO with Drain Punch. But I go ahead and just make a double out into Noivern, predicting the Fortress to come in. I figured her switches would either be Fortress or the Latios, and Noivern was a really safe bet against both of those. I outspeed the Latios and I can KO with Draco. And Fortress, I do have the Flamethrower. Her team is really, really weak to fire, so I felt like Flamethrower on Noivern this week was really, really good. Originally, I thought really, really hard about defogging here, but I didn't want to give her a Gyro Ball. Gyro Ball would do really, really big damage to me, and I just you know what? If she's gonna let me take this thing out, she can let me take this thing out. She can't switch into a Flamethrower. If she goes into Umbreon, I can see if it's specially defensive or physically defensive, and I can maybe drop a Draco depending on how much it does. If she does go Latios, predicting the fire move. I can always drop a Draco on it the following turn as well. So she doesn't really switch into. So I saw Flamethrower as just a no drawback play, and we go for the Flamethrower and we get the KO on the Fortress, which is really, really nice. She goes right back out into the Weavile. Here I think to myself, what do I want to sack? I can't switch into this. I mean, I could switch into Pangoro, but this thing. That's kind of my revenge answer to it. I can't just kind of switch it in and let it take unnecessary damage. So Noivern, sorry buddy, you're going down this turn unless she misses triple axle or only gets 1 hit. She gets 2 hits and Noivern goes down, but you did your job. You KO'd the Fortress. We go right back out into Pangoro, and here I go ahead and I believe I click the knockoff again. I saw it as a no drawback play. And we get rid of this thing's leftovers, and here I probably should have just went for Drain Punch, honestly, looking back. I wanted to deny the Toxic on Pangoro. This was a misplay. I also, in my stupid head, thought that synchronize didn't work on magic mounts, and being able to get a toxic off on this would be nice if she didn't have heal bell. So she goes for the toxic, we magic bounce it back, and synchronize does work on magic bounce, which is unfortunate. Here, I predict her to go for the wish, and I go ahead and go for the rock polish. I also didn't know. I also thought she might switch into the Weavile here, for whatever reason, or just go for the wish or protect. So I went for rock polish as she goes for the wish. Here, I get a little greedy. I predicted her to protect, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go for the calm mind. And she didn't protect. She went for the foul play, which was very fair. It's really fair play on her part. And here, I know she's just going to probably protect. I'm hoping she doesn't have protect, and I can maybe just get the KO on this. But she does have the protect, and that's unfortunate because Diancie just attacks into a protect, and it just dies. I really misplayed that interchange there, and it put me in a really bad spot. At this point, I thought I lost the game, 100%. I was really scared at this point. I really misplayed the Diancie, so sorry, Diancie. I misplayed you bad. So I just go out into Pangoro. I can't risk going into Silvally. Silvally. Oh, I saw Silvally as my win con. I did think I had everything I needed to win. Here, if she wants to go into Latios on a Drain Punch, she's more than welcome to. I can live any hit from it, I believe, even if it is Specs, because I am Assault Vest. And she goes for the Toxic. That's perfectly fine. We go for the Drain Punch, and we get the KO on the Umbreon, which is great. Here, we 100% expect her to go Latios. Excuse me. We 100% expect her to go Latios, and here I am AV, and I know that I live this hit every time, even if she Specs. We live a Draco from a Specs Latios. And that's exactly what happens. She goes to the Draco, we get the knockoff, and we get the KO on the Latios, which is huge, and it was choice specs. And that's huge. Basically means she goes Weavile. I go for Bullet Punch here because I can't let her just set up a Swords Dance for free. She goes for the knockoff because if she had Swords Dance, she was very free to just go for it. I don't think she would, because Drain Punch would have just destroyed her. So I just had to go for Bullet Punch just to make sure I got some damage off if she did. So I just wanted to get damage off that turn, guaranteed. And so here, since Silvally doesn't take the knockoff damage boost from losing an item, we're free to just go for a multi-attack and get the clean 1-0 victory over Zicofool. That is GG's. Very, very, very close game. Her team was really, really scary in prep. I felt like we had a bad matchup, honestly. There were a few things that we could have done better. I don't feel like I played the best. I think that double into Noivern on the Fortress switch in really helped us turn it around. But then we kind of flubbed it with the Umbreon Diancie interchange. If I'd have just clicked Moonblast a couple times on that, we could have been in a lot better position. But we still hung on. We got the win. A win is a win is a win in Gyarados Division, in Gyarados League. And that puts us to 7-2. And like I said, going into the start of the battle, I believe that locks us in for playoffs, which is huge. Means we can try out a few things we've been wanting to try. We can try out how a few mons work together. And yeah, shout outs to T4U, Big Shane, and TigerVGC for helping me build this week. I will have links to everyone down below. And TigerVGC, I don't think he has a YouTube, but he gave me his Twitch link, so he'll be down there with all the other content creators in the WPF. So make sure you go give him a shout. He was the one who gave me the idea for AV Pangoro. But seriously, thank you to all the other people who helped me build. Like I said, T4U, Big Shane. That'll do it for me today. Make sure you go check out all the other content creators. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys next time. Have a good one.